Joining us now is a guy who has been a part of the most successful television show for like, what, it feels like 45 years.
Yeah, at least.
Every single Emmy that they have won has been fucking earned. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who isn't a blueprint because I am nowhere near the human he is, but a trailblazer in the independent thinking sports personality who has dominated television and been amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Barkley. What's up, man?
Hey, guy. Hey, listen. Hey, Pat, I want to tell you this. I'm so excited to be on your show today because when I first started in television, before every single show, like my first 5 years, my producer, Tim Colley, would say, "Don't fucking curse." That's the only direction he ever gave me. He said, "Charles, don't," because I curse a lot in my everyday life. And to watch your show, I'm excited to be here today, so thanks for having me.
Charles, I am so honored that you even know I exist, like legitimately. I know you're an incredibly busy man. You've been around a very long time. Everybody holds you in high regards that are in high positions in this world. So I'm pumped that you know I exist. And also, I'm happy we didn't offend you with the fucks, you know, because you guys are able to be incredibly entertaining without swearing. I am not. And I don't have that filter. You know, I can't do it for whatever reason.
Well, let me say this. First of all, I'm never that busy.
Really?
I tell people I'm busy because one thing that happens with being in the limelight, people want you to do their shit all the time. Listen, I'm not even exaggerating, you get 30 to 40 requests for charity events every week. Everybody's got a golf tournament. Everybody's got a dinner. Everybody want to raffle you off to do something. So it became, and it's probably like after my 5th year of being in the limelight, I'm like, these people think I ain't got nothing better to do except their crap. And I learned like, nah, I'm busy. No, but I'm really not that busy because I really just want to play golf all the time and fish. But people really, and listen, everybody's charity is important. I want to make that perfectly clear.
We agree, yes.
But I can't do it all.
Yeah.
I want to have some time to be a normal person and play golf and fish.
Isn't it interesting, though, that if you don't do something, like let's say you did, because you have to tell them you're busy so that, you know, they understand that you can't do the event. But if you just said like, hey, I very much appreciate it, but I'm actually got something with my friends that night, they would say you are the worst human of all time. No matter how much philanthropical stuff you've done, you are the worst. This guy hates kids. That's what people would say.
And you're 100% correct because number one, every job I know does really good stuff. Most of them do really good stuff in community. Stuff in their community, or they go back to their hometown. But you're getting calls from people all over the country. Now, first of all, you've never met them. And like I say, hey, I understand that charity is important. But you're only one person, and I'm not going to work 365 days a year. I'm going to do the stuff that I want to do. But hey, I don't even feel bad about lying anymore. You know what? I just don't have time right now. I got too much stuff going on. And when I say too much stuff going on, that means picking out a golf course that I'm going to or picking out where I'm going to go fishing.
Yeah. All very important. By the way, those are very important to the life to be lived that you've had. And any other excuses you come up with, please send them because I'll probably need them here in a few years. You know what I mean? I might get to that point. And if you could just feed me some lines, that'd be great. Have you gotten close because of the golf and the fish? Have you gotten close to retirement? I think that was being talked about, a couple months ago, like you were done with this shit or whatever. Is that true? Is that accurate? Are you in for the long haul? What's going on?
Well, I'm 21 years. I think that's the long haul.
Whoa. No. I'm saying, you know, are we seeing Chuck on TV for the next 10, 15 years? No, from this point forward.
That's not going to happen. Okay. Hey, I love my job. I love the people I work for. I love the people I work with. But, Pat, I'm 58 years old. I'm smart enough to know that I'm closer to the end than the beginning. And I don't want to drop dead on television. I want to enjoy the back nine of my life. Listen, I love my job. Ernie, Kenny, Shaq, the people I work for, they're awesome. But like I say, I played 16 years. I've been on TV for 21 years. I'm probably going to work till I'm 60. I got 2 more years left on my deal.
Okay.
But this notion that I'm going to still be going on TV when I'm like 65 years old and 68 and 70, I'm like, that's the stupidest shit I ever heard.
Mr. Barkley, Chuck, what can I call you, Chuck?
Oh, yeah, you can call me Chuck. People, hey, listen. Once the late, great Paul Westphal started butchering my name, calling me Chuck, now most of America calls me Chuck, so it's always good.
Okay, well, I've called you Chuck like 3 times, and in my head there I was like, man, I maybe have been disrespecting this dude. Right to
No.
Why do you think some people stay on TV so long? Is it the attention, you know? You think it's the addiction to the attention, or what do you think it is? Why do you think some guys can't step away? Because there is some people on TV that are, you know, we're like, what are we doing on TV still almost, you know, some of the time.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a double-edged sword, to be honest with you, Pat, because I think if it has been your entire career, you can stay longer because that's actually been your job. But somebody for like yourself, me, guys like that, it's our second career. So we're doing it for fun because it's awesome, and we needed something to do. I think that's the main reason. But like I say, the only reason you would keep working till the day you die is because if it's been your entire career.
Got it.
You played in the NFL for a long time. I played in the NBA for a long time. We're just trying to make enough money so we never pour again at this state, and I think we got that covered.
Hey, good for us, man. Hey, it just happened for me. You know what I mean? Good for us, man, if you want to put that high five. Yeah. Okay, hey, good for us, man. Hey, we're going to call you back. Our connection just got kind of weak. We'll call you right back. We appreciate you, Chuck. This is getting good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, I like it. I like him a lot. He is somebody that is like a, you know, because there's this thing called the sports personality or something like that, Emmy.
Yeah.
And I think Chuck won it like 75 times straight or something like that. And the reason is because he is not like anybody else. Chuck has the ability to be so many different people on TV. He can say the obvious, but then he can ask a question or give a take that no other motherfucker can give. And then he's hysterical as well. He is hey, you back, Chuck? Groundbreaker, man. Hey, Chuck. Hey, there he is.
There we go.
There he is. Okay, so we just talked about the amount of money we wanted to make so we wouldn't be poor anymore. Let's move on. Let's talk about what you do for a living, the NBA. The game is changing this year. Is that an accurate assessment that Shams Charania told us after the more international-like rules have been instated? And do you like it and have more respect for the game, the way it's been moving?
You know, it's not the greatest thing for me because I think that they've taken all the physicality out the game. You know, you notice in the NFL, and Tom Brady said it, it's a lot easier to play football today than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's the same thing with the NBA. Is it better? I don't like using the phrase better. I say it's just different.
Okay.
It's a lot easier to play basketball. The problem is, and the biggest problem I have with, we got the greatest shooter we ever seen, Steph Curry, break the record the other night. The biggest problem we got now, we got a bunch of bums who are not Steph Curry jacking up threes every single night just because I have no idea why. I'm not even going to make up no lie. Listen, I want Steph Curry to shoot threes all night. I want Klay Thompson to shoot three all night. But the problem we got, because those guys are such great shooters, bad players are trying to do it. And that's my biggest problem. It ain't, our game, I'm not one of those old get off my lawn guys. I was playing golf with Emmitt Smith last week. And I said and he's the all-time NFL rusher. Obviously, everybody knows that. But the way the game has happened today, he probably going to have that record to the end of time. I mean, because we're never going to go back to running back, playing that long and being that productive. They're not going to run the ball enough. And, Emmitt's one of the greatest to ever do it. And there's probably other running backs who, if they played the way they played his day and gave him the ball over and over behind that great offensive line, they could do it. But now they're going to throw the ball so much, he probably got a record that's untouchable.
Okay, so, Chuck, that makes me you talking about the guys who are like, hey, if I was in that position, I'd be able to do well. In basketball, in the conversation, always, I mean, it's still being talked about every single day in the debate shows. I mean, they are still doing the Jordan LeBron every single day. Every single day it happens. And I don't, it's unbelievable that that'll happen until the end of time. Isn't it two different basketballs? Like Michael Jordan and LeBron James are playing two different sports right now, right? And if they were to both go to either side, like all you legends could have been able to play at any different style of basketball, right? Shouldn't that be the conversation? You think that's the conversation or no?
Well, I think it's weak, personally, to have that debate all the time because they are. I think when you have no talent, you have to make up shit to talk about. Like, are we still talking about Michael? Michael's been retired 30 years, and LeBron is great. I got a lot of love and respect for LeBron, but first of all, if you're gonna do it like that, you should say he was the best during their era. That to me would make more sense than trying to compare. Like, Bill Russell to me is like a father to me. He's amazing. He's been a great father figure for me. But to try to compare him to Shaquille O'Neal, who's 4 inches taller and 100 pounds heavier, I don't know if that would be fair. But what Bill Russell did, it's probably one of the, win 7 championships in a row and have 11 rings. I mean, that stuff is incredible. But I just think some of these guys, they don't have any talent. So when they go on radio or TV, you know you're gonna get clicks when you're like bringing up Michael against LeBron. I just think those guys have no talent, to be honest with you. I think it's just easier for them to go on TV or go on the radio. The radio's the worst. Because listen, when I was playing in Philadelphia from 84 to 92, a lot of those guys were great friends of mine, Pat. We would play golf every day, especially during the summer. And I'd say, well, what are y'all going to talk about on the radio today? And they'd say, well, blah, 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 blah. I says, wait, you don't believe that, do you? He says, Charles, our job is to get these fools to call in for 4 hours a day and argue with us. We don't have to believe half the shit we say. I said, what? They says, you don't understand. This is just the business of radio. Our job is to get guys, girls, everybody to call in and argue with me for 4 hours. And I was like, that's the number one rule I took to television, Pat.
Me too.
I never want to say anything on television just to get, like, I'm so old. They didn't have clickbait back in my day.
Clout.
But I don't ever want to get on TV for people to say, well, Charles Barkley said this, let me address that. Because I want it to be factual. And like I say, even when I'm wrong, I'm never going to make up no bullshit.
Isn't it nice, too, that you don't have to remember anything then, right? Like, I always think about those people that don't actually believe what they're saying and they're just saying shit to say shit and to troll basically now. They have to remember everything that they said. And if they don't, you get like exposed, especially with the internet now. It's nice when you don't have to remember the bullshit that you said. You know, Chuck?
Yeah, but I think the main thing is there are no consequences.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
There are zero consequences. Like, I always laugh when these guys pick, like, everybody know I hate Skip Bayless because I think he's the king of, I'm just going to say shit so people will say they're going to go crazy on me. All right. But for me, what drives me crazy is, like, he'll miss 9 out of 10 games, and then he'll brag about the one upset he got right out of those 10 games. Like, I told you that team was going to upset. I was like, yo, man, you missed the other 9 games. But I hate guys who do that on television, who they are wrong all the time. But when they get one wrong, they go crazy bragging about it. That shit drives me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, sports entertainment is a very interesting thing, you know, especially with the amount of hours that people got to fill, the amount of platforms now, Chuck. I assume that although you guys, TNT, you love TNT, I mean, you doing that golf shit with Bleacher Report because TNT and Bleacher Report have a relationship and like dabbling. Do you ever think about dabbling more on the internet? I know you don't really do it much, but
never.
you are beloved on there, Chuck.
Hey, Pat, never going on the internet.
Chuck!
Never gonna, no, because two things. Number one, once you're successful, I always say, being successful is like being a homecoming queen. All the ugly bitches hate you. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. When you're successful, you're gonna have built-in enemies, and then the more successful you become, the more enemies come at you. So I don't want to give them access to me because I'm not that guy. If you say something mean to me, I got to say something mean back to you. When I was younger, I used to fight all the time. I'm too old to fight now, but I can still verbalize some insult.
Yes.
And like, let's say if I'm out drinking, because people know I like to drink.
Oh, what do you drink?
If I'm drunk,
What do you drink?
A vodka. I own a vodka company called Redmond Vodka. Hey, you have your people send me some. I'm gonna send you some Redmond Vodka and Vulcan Gin. I bought a distillery in Alabama about 3 years ago.
Let's go!
I'll send you plenty of Redmond and Vulcan.
Okay, so
I drink vodka and tequila. Those are my two drinks of choice.
Okay, so you have a couple.
But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If I'm high on vodka and tequila and you insult me, there's a 100% chance. Oh, man, thank you.
There we go. Let's go.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a couple gins and vodkas and tequilas. Somebody says something on Twitter. It's fucking, hey, what? What'd you say?
No, I don't have a tequila yet, but that thank you for showing that. I try not to come on show.
Oh, then he's going to leave as soon as we get to plug
come on your shows if you pump up my shit. But thank you, brother. I appreciate you showing that.
Nah, no problem at all, dude. Honestly.
No, but if I'm drinking my vodka or some tequila and you insult me, there's a 100% chance I'm gonna say some shit back at you. And the problem with being famous, Pat, and I don't like calling myself famous, but it is what it is.
Yeah, 21
People can say anything they want to me, and nobody gives a shit. But the first time I go crazy on their ass, I'm gonna get crushed.
Yeah, you're not classy. You're not professional, obviously. Yeah. Be a gentleman.
I choose not to let people have access to me in that situation. So I cut that out. I don't. People say all the time, "Hey, I follow you on Twitter." I say, "Yo, that's not me. I don't even know what the hell a burner account is. I wouldn't even go through the hassle. I mean, I'm the least electronic person in the world. Say that, but it's true."
I respect that so much, mostly because my Twitter come up when I was punter in Indianapolis. I enjoyed it because as a punter, you can't talk a lot of shit, Chuck, and I enjoyed talking shit in other sports. As a punter, you can't really, but on Twitter, some bum who sends me something, I can go back through his tweets and I can bury him, so I actually kind of enjoyed that entire thing. And now you can mute people. Oh, Chuck, if you ever think about it, you'd absolutely love it. You'd crush it. But let's go back to that role model conversation. Wasn't that was you, right? I'm not the role model. Mm-hmm. Do you not feel now, though, that you are? Like in role model, I think has a interesting way to look at this. But I think for like a lot of people that want to get into TV that are athletes and maybe aren't the exact cut that is normally allowed on TV, like you're a role model to me, man. You ever think about that?
Well, Pat, thank you for those kind words. Listen, man, I just tell the guys, first of all, it's a very difficult job because the number one thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to criticize players. And if you don't criticize players when they deserve to be criticized, you're not going to last long on television because you're not doing the game for your teammates. You're not doing the game for your friends. You're doing the game for the people watching. Yeah. So I want to always honor and respect them. So I'm never going to lie on television. So my thing is when I tell guys, yo, man, you say you want to do it, you got to be honest. You got to be fair. If a guy's playing great, just say he's playing great. If a guy's not playing great, you got to tell the truth. That don't mean you don't like him. That don't mean you think he's a great player. He's just having a bad game. And I do notice one thing that sucks about our profession, Pat. When I give guys compliment, they never fucking call me.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, who I love and rest in peace. I used to say, I said for like 3 or 4 years, 5 years, he was the best basketball player in the world. The one night against the Phoenix Suns when he didn't take any shots in the game in the second half, and we had that game on TNT, and I went off on him after the game saying, Kobe, I've always liked you, but what you did tonight was bogus. You didn't take a shot in the second half. You were trying to prove a point. You didn't have any help. He called me from 1 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the morning, cursing me out like a dog.
That's awesome.
I was like, and the thing was bad about it, Pat, it was all in text. We going back and forth. I said, yo, man, would you please call me? Would you please call me? You mother... oh, my... He called me every name in the book. Obviously, we passed things up. But I say, even LeBron has wanted me a couple times. And I always say what a great person he is. I admire him as a person. He's one of the 5 or 6 best basketball players I've ever seen. I've said some things about him, and he went off on me. But I always laugh. I says, these dudes never call me when I talk about how great they are.
It's amazing,
but when I criticize them one time, they call me and tell me I'm the worst SOB in the world.
Well, that's because
I learned I have to just deal with it.
Yeah, well, that's because you just became a motivator, right? Like that's the only reason why. They don't hear the compliments, right? They don't hear that. All of a sudden, you become the person, like MJ in the restaurant when the Utah Jazz coach walked in,
George Karl,
and said, "Hey, how are you doing, man? Hope everything's good." And that's all I fucking needed. That guy said I wasn't going to win. Like you become that whenever you say that. Like all the good stuff means nothing for that one chip that just got added on the shoulder. So, I mean, good for you becoming the guy that everybody still loves and respects and at least reaches out to you as opposed to just cancels you. Let's talk about the team that you have. Because you, Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq and you, one of the greatest duos on TV going. But do you all have that mindset, you think? And is that why the show has been so successful? Because it's like, hey, we all have to tell the truth. Everybody's on the same page there?
Well, we pride ourselves on that, but I think the biggest difference, Pat, I think people don't understand. We're on from 7 to 2 in the morning, and we try to reach a happy medium, basketball and fun. That's really the key. Listen, as much as I love basketball, I don't want to talk about basketball from 7 o'clock to 2 in the morning. Nobody wants to do that. I mean, that just sucks. And you know what really sucks? When you have 2 shitty games. It is the longest night in the world. So with the crew we have and behind the scenes, we're scrambling to make things fun. First of all, we always hope we get 2 good games. That happens sometimes. Most of the time you get 1 good game, 1 shitty game. So we figured out, like I say, if we got 2 good games, it's an easy night at work. But when we don't have good games, we figured out how can we make people laugh and have a good time. That's really the key.
A vibe is very important. And let's ask you about a couple basketball things real quick because I'd be an idiot not to, especially with your massive brain. LeBron James, Austin Reeves, AD, Russell Westbrook, are they turning this thing around? Is Reeves the hot hand? Are they going to be in the end? I heard Shaq say, he's happy they're changing the name because Staples Center was he and Kobe. This team stinks currently. Okay, they can get their own with that whole thing. Is that because it's LA and LeBron, or is it really problematic what's going on over there, you think, with how much money they've spent?
Well, Shaq thinks he owns everything in the world. Let's get that out.
He does, though. He does. He's selling printers to me the other day, dude.
Hey, Shaq thinks he owns everything in the world. Listen, I don't think this thing going to work in L.A. I don't think you can put all those geezers together and think it's just going to come together. Pat, sports are a young man's game. And LeBron, the most disappointing aspect has been Anthony Davis. Excuse me.
Jesus, is that AD right there? Just coming.
No. I said the first night of the season, they're talking about Westbrook and Carmelo and all those guys. I'm like, that doesn't matter. If Anthony Davis is not one of the 5 best basketball players in the world, Anthony Davis is in his prime. He's 27 years old. every jock who's been great know from 25 to 32, that's as good as you can get. Because you come out of college, takes you a while to learn, you get stronger, mentally better also. You normally hit your peak around 25, the start of your peak. And then from 25 to 32, you're like, I'm better than all these other dudes. I'm physically strong enough. I'm mentally prepared. And I thought if Anthony Davis did that, he could be the best player, one of the 5 best players, and LeBron could coast, Russ could do his thing, and Carmelo could come off the bench. It has not happened. LeBron has been breaking down, not just this year, the last 2 or 3 years, which means age is finally catching up to him. I mean, like I say, old people get hurt. That's what happens.
Hey, he was.
AD has not held up his end of the bargain, and I think that's been the biggest issue with the Lakers. But to answer your question, no, I don't think it's going to come together.
Okay, so if you go around the NBA, the other big story from like somebody who's outside like us, and we can't thank you enough for all this time. I have no idea if you were supposed to be out of here like 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago, but I appreciate your time here. The Kyrie Irving, is he getting traded? Is that why he put his shoes back on the video? Because are they going to make an exemption for him to play? Is he back? I mean, that's one of the premier guys in the NBA, right? Him out this entire season has been kind of bananas to even think about, right?
Well, it's interesting. It's so much BS out here right now. People, guys were thinking like, oh, maybe Kyrie's coming back. But then it came out that he was just showing his new shoe that's coming out for people to buy before Christmas.
Smart. That's good marketing. That's good marketing.
I never even would thought about that.
It's good marketing.
Listen, I don't know what's true. I think everybody should be vaccinated. Everybody should get the booster. I'm a vaccination guy because I think that people got to, especially black folks, because I think they have to understand that we really need to protect ourselves. They have to understand that they're not going to get the same medical care as rich people. So I hope they all go out and get the vaccine and the booster. But as far as Kyrie, listen, that's the interesting thing about quote unquote the internet. I don't know if he's saying he's coming back or he's trying to promote his new shoes that's just coming out for Christmas. So I wish I could give you a real answer. I really do. But, and as they say, once you see it on the internet, it's got to be true.
Well, that's the thing, because, and I'm happy you said that about how your stance on vaccinations and everything, the reason why, because obviously Aaron has come on this show and talked about his stance on it, and we automatically get thrown in like, oh, we're pumping that. It's like, no, I want everybody to go ahead and speak how they feel and their truth. And I appreciate you doing that, man. That was a big time message, and I don't even think you knew because you're not really on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really a place where you dabble, but you're beloved on there, Chuck. Beloved.
Well, no, listen, I want to say this. I've watched you and Aaron quite a few times. I really do. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I know we've been trying to get this thing set up, and I'm really glad to do it. I'd be happy to do it again. Hey, as I told you earlier,
yeah, you're not busy.
I'm never busy. I just tell people I'm busy because they think I want to do their bullshit. So I got plenty of time. I'm enjoying this, man. So anytime you want me on again, just let me know.
We appreciate you so much. Once we get closer to Christmas and past Christmas, as NBA starts taking over, we will hopefully reconnect. We appreciate you so much. You're a legend, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Barkley.
Yeah, Charles!
Thank you, dude.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Charles.
Hey,
That was really sweet.
Legend.
Awesome.
that was a good convo there.
Yeah.
He's the best.
I think you could have had him for another 45.
At least.
I know, but we got
back.
We literally. All right, hour 2 with Charles Barkley.